Hello and welcome back. I'm Dorian Steele, and today I'm going to be talking with you about my feelings and emotions that I have as somebody who's been clinically recognised with psychopathy and as well as narcissistic personality disorder, but I'll be doing more videos on that topic later. So today I wanted to cover the emotions that I do feel, I don't feel, how much of these do I feel deeply, if at all, and what do I make of all this? So without further ado, let's begin. Starting off with what I don't feel. Beginning with that, we're going to have guilt, of course, emotional empathy as well. I don't feel either of these things. I think guilt and remorse are kind of the same thing. I think they're both supposed to be like you feel bad about what you did. So I've had guilt and remorse explained to me on numerous occasions from various people, from therapists, an old probation worker I used to have, and even my father and the mother of my child as well. Now, they've all come up with their own versions, their own explanations of these emotions or these emotional concepts, and still, no matter which way you try to word it to me, I can't quite get my head around it in too much of a sense. I think I know enough to know what it looks like and how to portray it in a way so that if I'm ever in a situation where I need to give a false impression and deceive somebody into thinking that maybe I feel bad or I feel bad for somebody else, then I can do so. But if you start poking the bear and really trying to peel the onion is the better expression, and try and unravel out of me an understanding of these things, I don't have an answer for them. And I think that is a key giveaway of somebody with psychopathy, is that we just don't have any sort of an understanding or even an explanation for these feelings, because we just don't have them, we just don't experience them. We don't have these anchors weighing us down. You know, we are free to roam the seas as much as we please without being weighed down by these things. And that to me that can only be a good thing, because I'm not going to feel bad about anything. Why would anybody want to feel guilty or empathize with somebody? Because empathy for me is like if you're walking down the street and you see, I don't know, you see a woman in her driveway crying because her car's broken down and she can't get to work, and that makes you sad. That makes you feel like your car's broken down and now you can't get to work. Now, why should something bad that's happened to somebody else ruin my day? That simply shouldn't be the case. And for me, it's not, and I'm very glad about that. And I would not change it for the world. Emotional empathy as well, that's one we've got to talk about. Complete lack of it. Never felt. Again, if all these things like guilt, empathy, remorse, they all feel like they all just feel like different words for feeling bad for other people, and you're trying to repackage them in different words and ways and meanings and try to sell them to me, sort of like the con artist with his snake oil. And it's not an oil that I'm going to buy or drink. You know, I can tell a big lie to somebody. I can, drag you through the dirt or cause as much harm as is necessary or even more. And then I'm just going to go to sleep, and I'll wake up the next day and make my bacon and eggs on toast, because that's what I care about more. And I'm always going to do or get what I want to do or get, and I'm fine with it, completely fine with it. Now, that's really all I have to say on that kind of a thing, a conscience, if you will, because I think all of those feelings grouped together make a conscience in someone. So like when somebody says that psychopaths don't have a conscience, which is true, we don't really have a conscience. That's what they're saying. They're saying they have no empathy, no remorse, etc. Now onto what I can feel, because believe it or not, I'm a human being at the end of the day. I do have feelings, otherwise I just wouldn't do anything, would I? I'd have no motivations, and that would be very far from the truth of who I actually am. So my feelings I like to put in a form of a hierarchy, if you will. And at the top of the hierarchy we have pride, ego, confidence, and that's probably just my NPD as well, sitting there pretty high. But then sort of alongside that, it's the only feeling that I can really get that's intense is anger and rage, fury, irritability, just all anger, or all types of anger or aggression in general. I feel these very, very intensely, deeply, quickly. Often, a lot of the time, it doesn't tend to last as long, but it still lasts longer than all my other feelings, which I'll get into in a sec. But my anger has been known to simmer for periods of days at a time, and when that happens and it builds up to boiling points, that's when the worst side of me comes out, and even I don't like it. I don't like to feel angry at all, I can assure you. Just because I'm good at it, or just because I feel it deeply, doesn't mean that I want to feel it. I much prefer to be as I am now, confident, aloof, intelligent, and talking to you all, doing something that I enjoy doing. And that for me is a good day. Feeling angry is not a good day for me, but in terms of emotional intensity and accessibility, then my anger sits at the top of the emotional hierarchy in my psychopathology. And just underneath that, sitting right underneath, is impulsivity. It's like the strong urge to do what you want when you want it. Or for me, impulsivity more represents to do something dangerous. Like, I don't feel impulsive if I want to go study or cook my dinner. That's not an impulsive feeling. But impulsivity comes about from either being bored out of my mind, which, let's face it, doesn't take a lot. And if I'm really, especially sometimes if I drink alcohol, I can get this way where I will suddenly feel the inhumane urge, the beast-like urge almost, to do something really drastic and dangerous. In the past, when I've drunk, I've self-harmed. I've mixed my alcohol with heavy, like, Class A drugs in copious amounts. And there are other things as well, though those dangerous behaviours have been vastly reduced to almost zero thanks to therapy that I've received. See, the way now that I have to manage impulsivity is by making sure that I'm keeping productive throughout the day. And I noticed that the more productive I am in life, such as doing uni coursework assignments, pursuing my goal of YouTube, etc., then the less impulsive I tend to get later down the line whenever an urge does strike up. It's when I become dormant or lazy. If I'm doing nothing, then suddenly that urge of boredom is just going to rise to the surface, and that can't be allowed. So next, after impulsivity, I'd say that that's where my happiness and sadness sort of lie side by side. Happiness and sadness, they're not really things that I do feel at all under any circumstance, though they have been felt in the past, definitely, but they just tend to be very minimal, shallow. I always picture like when a gentle tide washes up on a beach and then just gently flows about. It isn't like the crashing waves of anger that will swallow a ship into the sea. It's just very minimal. It's presence. I don't always realise that is what I'm feeling, particularly sadness, because dealing with negative emotion for me is very difficult and hard. I don't really think about how to process it or think about it the best way. I have quite a hard time crying. Like, even if I want to cry, the cry sort of gets stuck in me, and I have to try and force it out. I've heard tips on how to improve with this, but in all honesty, I'm not really interested. I mean, I'm fine with my emotions the way I am. I don't see a problem with any of them per se. So that's my summary on that. And I can't really think of anything much else to say now. It's been interesting talking about this. I'm finding this whole YouTube thing somewhat cathartic. You know, since I've left full-time work and I've gone into uni, it's given me more to do. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment below your honest thoughts and opinions, or any videos that you'd like to see. I'm open to all manner of decent suggestions. And from me, it's take care for now until next time, and arrivederci.